Look, it's more confusing because there's more explanation. For the same reason you probably wouldn't teach kids about child brides or arranged marriages.
But what about child brides? Kind of skipped over that one. I think since 2013, there's an estimated 200,000 people, children that have been married into child weddings. So that is an actual huge problem, one that should be addressed. A much bigger problem, I think, than any statistical data on there being a large amount of gay people who are committing acts of pedophilia. That seems to be something that doesn't bear itself out in the data once you start looking at the numbers.
Curriculum ban people from discussing sexual marriage with children? No, it also doesn't ban discussing your personal relationships. It's just inappropriate. However, I would argue, yeah, it's more appropriate to discuss heterosexual relationships with children than same-sex relationships and marriage. Why? Because it doesn't require much of an explanation. Is this an argument that you really want to make?
I'm interested in hearing about this, but I think if I could steel man Mr. Crowder for a little bit, it's because we're so indoctrinated into heterosexual relationships. In fact, we grew up with them. I know for someone who grew up watching The Little Mermaid that my idea of love was that I had to find someone who had feet and had their voice stolen, and then using a magic spell, if I was able to kiss them, we would fall in love and defeat the evil Ursula. That's basically my entire concept of romance as a child and how that got shaped. So I guess if we're all growing up with these things and we just see it everywhere all the time, it's just so normal to see, you know, heterosexual couples kissing, then it requires a little explanation. I mean, it's not going to be too hard. I can try and help Steven out here. It's basically that in the gay couple, they also kiss and love each other. That wasn't too painful. That wasn't too bad, right? I think we solved this one.
The vast majority of relationships since the beginning of time have been heterosexual relationships. That is, I dare say, normal, meaning the norm, meaning it is the most likely to occur.
So, I mean, I hate to Godwin's Law this one, but at the height of Nazism, the vast majority of people in Germany did seem to think that what was going on was a good thing. I don't know if that necessarily means it's good or normal. Oh my. 2 of my lights shut off at that very comment. Maybe I'm being censored 1984 here. Hold on one sec.
It's not that hard to explain to a child. Boy meets girl, boy falls in love with girl, boy and girl get married, have babies. 1.5% who are 2 dudes. Look, it's more confusing because there's more explanation. For the same reason you probably wouldn't teach kids about child brides or arranged marriages. And by the way, I'm not saying that arranged marriages are necessarily morally wrong. I don't like them. But my point is, of course.
But what about child brides? Kind of skipped over that one. Do you have a problem with child brides? Because that is an actual huge problem in the United States. I think since 2013, there's an estimated 200,000 people, children that have been married into child weddings. Oftentimes the dynamic is between a older man and a younger girl. So that is an actual huge problem, one that should be addressed. A much bigger problem, I think, than any statistical data on there being a large amount of gay people who are committing acts of pedophilia. That seems to be something that doesn't bear itself out in the data once you start looking at the numbers.
You wouldn't need to, people act as though there's an equivalency.
Pause it. So he just equated, just want to be clear.
Amazon reports a $3.8 billion quarterly loss. If you think that one's wild, I don't know if you saw Ken, and enjoy Ken Klippenstein's tweets for now, everybody. I think his days are numbered, you know, but I don't know if you saw this one. What's the announcement? What's the announcement? Worth it. I don't know how many people here have gone through a midlife crisis. I hear it's the thing that happens to many gentlemen in their lives, and I don't know if your midlife crisis has completely dropped and plummeted the stock value of your company, but there's that. And hey, I said this before, I don't know if it'll ever happen, but a really good epic prank to pull on Big Chungus himself, Elon Musk, would be to 69 420 and unionize if you were a Twitter employee right now. If you just unionized en masse right before he took over the company, I think that would probably be the biggest nightmare that Elon Musk could ever walk into. It would be a fully unionized Twitter workforce.
Gay relationships with child brides, with pedophilia. Do you see how he snuck that in there? Do you see how he snuck
but it's
that in
only 1.5%. That's it, Sam.
Okay, let's look at the data. I like facts over feelings. Between 2000 and 2018, nearly 300,000, I got the number wrong, I said 200, nearly 300,000 minors were legally married in the United States. The vast majority of child marriages in the US were between a minor girl and an adult man. In many cases, minors in the US may be married when they are under the age of sexual consent, which varies from 16 to 18 depending on the state. In some states, minors cannot legally divorce or leave their spouse, and domestic violence shelters typically do not accept minors. So, horrifying. Sounds like a pretty big problem. Maybe something that should be addressed by the people who always espouse to care about pedophilia and the kids.
1.5% of the population is gay, and they're all pedophiles.
But wait, but I mean, like, he is equating pedophilia. How do you explain pedophilia to a child? It's just as difficult as explaining two adults getting married. Go back a little bit more.
Dudes, look, it's more confusing because there's more explanation. For the same reason you probably wouldn't teach kids about child brides or arranged marriages. And by the way, I'm not saying that arranged marriages are necessarily morally wrong. I don't like them. But my point is,
Elon Musk may pull out in the end. Apparently he's done that in big deals before. He has. And again, everyone is getting super excited right now and think that the internet has somehow changed in the past couple days is just kind of weird to me, because ultimately the deal is not signed. It's going to take months to finalize. And if he does take it over, he does take it over. I mean, none of us have any control in that arena at the end of the day. And if he's going to steer it in a wild new direction, well, he might end up with the problem that Matt Binder was bringing up, that he could end up taking the company.
of course you wouldn't need to. People act as though there's an equivalency. There's not. When some
Wait, if the shelters don't accept kids, where do the families go? The kids are locked into the child marriages, regardless if they're suffering abuse or sexual abuse. That's the horrifying thing about it. They can't file for divorce. I mean, someone would have to prove, an outside party, that there's abuse taking place, and then work really hard to be able to get around the fact that I'm sure the husband in question probably, and this is just anecdotal, but probably would say this is not true. This is this is clearly a fabrication. Whatever it is, it's a horrifying situation. Something that, again, the party that continues to talk about how they care about these issues, that this is really important to them, that they're really against the abuse of children, everything that they see is grooming, like even Oreos and breakfast cereal. It's like, oh, the breakfast cereal has they, them on the back. Oh, it's a groomer cereal, all that kind of shit. They don't actually care. What they care about is vilifying people who are LGBTQ+. That's it. That's what it's always been. It's all about panic.
something is far outside the realm of average.
The realm of average? What the hell does that mean? What is, like, how do you explain you carry a gun on your YouTube show to your kids? Talk about being far out of the average.
I'm the realm of average with my two holsters on.
Oh no, that's come on, that's good old fashioned protectionism. You know, you gotta teach kids at a young age. I mean, why not teach a baby how to handle a pistol? I'm sure they can wrap their little fingers around it, and at some point it'll teach them self-defense. So why not start young? You gotta teach kids about gun safety, everybody.
His whole reason why he's packing guns is to make it normalized. What? Well, I thought it's wrong to normalize things.
When something is far outside the realm of average.
The realm of average.
It requires more.
I do like that. The realm of average. What is the realm of average? Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback, because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Just, we are prepared to embark on a mighty jihad in your name. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your humble jester, attempting in vain to get you to laugh. To our valiant knights of the Round Table, Benji Arnie, Tech Tink, Scary Earthhuman, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Mayred, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood. It doesn't matter what I believe, it only matters what I can prove. Egbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Daniel Sutton, Coulter Smith, Jenna Tao, Quiet 185, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, The Tim Caucus, Multimondi, Trevbot, EXE, Brian Ephraim, Lemmy 101, Anthropophojak, Saren 42, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Incosin, Agent NDN, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Zach Christensen, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. We raise our mugs and salute our brave heroes off to another glorious conquest.